What's going on, everyone? My name is Nicholas Merton here at DataDash, and today is November 3rd of 2021. Well, folks, I hope you all are having a fantastic day wherever you are. And in today's video, we're going to be diving into three key topics around the crypto market. First off, Bitcoin, whether or not we can expect a further uptrend soon, as things have been relatively choppy since we set in our new all-time highs. And outside of that as well, we're going to be talking about our conviction on why we're so exposed to Ethereum versus Bitcoin, as we do believe that the cycle is going to continue rewarding Ethereum holders more than it would just simply be investing in Bitcoin. We'll talk more about that as we go through the video. And last but not least, we're going to be talking about the banking system getting in on crypto. There's some major developments to talk about today in the headlines, so we'll dive into that later on. But let's go ahead and dive straight into it, guys. I want to start by taking a look over the last 24 hours. The vast majority of the market here in a shade of green, with very few players down here in neutral to red territory, as we've been seeing Bitcoin and Ethereum either remaining towards their highs or charting towards new all-time highs. So a lot of positivity coming back in the market. Again, I think at this point we know that this was not the start of the bear market back here, as we've emphasized many times here on the channel. Now, I want to talk a little bit about the short term here, because I think a lot of people had the estimation here that once we set a new all-time highs, we cleared through the 65K resistance from back here on April 14th of 2021, that things were just absolutely going to shoot up, that price would climb up towards 70K, 80K, 90K, and all the while there is a potential for something like that to happen. In many cases, you're going to get a shakeout here. You're going to get people who are selling their positions right when it comes back to those all-time highs. People who maybe, for example, bought up in this upper range, who want to break even and went through the entire stress. Especially you find this when you have really steady corrections like we had back in May. Things that really knock you out in this case. And even though it doesn't really make sense, because you shouldn't be concerned when we get back to all-time highs. In fact, this happens all the time, right? We went through Bitcoin's all-time highs back here in February and continue to climb higher, right? It's tended to be that so long as you're not in a bear market and you're coming up to revisit the highs after an extended period of time, you're going to continue climbing up, generally speaking. Now, we had about a 15 or 16% correction from the highs up here around 67K down here towards $56,500. So overall, I can understand how this caused some concern for people, but we've seen this before in Bitcoin. And for perspective's sake, just over the past month, right, during this period of time, actually really less than a month here, in about 30 trading days, we were up 64.6%. Right? So you're going to give a little bit of those returns up, and that gives for the room for more buyers to come in and press prices higher. We've already come up here back to 63K, recovering 12.2% here. So overall, I think price is good, and we've got the framework here really in the next couple of days to probably the next week or so of getting up above that previous 67K range and climbing higher. My target for the next real top here that we should, again, if you're looking to trade the market, is possibly going up towards around 100K. If we put things on the logarithmic chart, right, we start to expand our time frame, it really isn't going to take much for Bitcoin to charter higher towards the 100K range, right? We're really not that far off potentially reaching that. And I think, as you can see here where I've got my mouse, I think that it's very reasonable to see this by the end of the year. I don't think we're going to see 150K. I don't think we're going to see 200K. If we are shooting for those price targets, it's not happening here. And I do believe this is not something many people are talking about. I believe that we're not only going to play into the expanding cycles, but outside of this as well, we are going to have another May-style correction. The liquidity, the open interest on derivatives platforms, it's building up faster than market price, just like we've seen before, guys. So again, highly recommend keeping in mind that there's going to be another one of these bad boys in this cycle. I know no one's looking forward to it, but we've already seen it once, we've seen it twice, we're going to see it a third time most likely. And that does give us the room, though, to buy in some crypto at a discount, right? And still reach those high price estimates going towards 150K, 200K later on in 2022. Now, next up, I want to talk about Ethereum here, right? And Ethereum will be subject to the same exact criticisms there about the potentially major correction we could see in the coming months. Bear in mind the coming months. But overall for Ethereum, we can already see that we've charted to new all-time highs, and it looks like we're really starting to continue the trend. We've got really nice solid momentum here on the dollar pair, right? 11%, neutral week, 12%, 6%, 5%, 6 to 7% here, right? As we're climbing up here, we're holding really solid weekly momentum here. Taking a look at the weekly chart for Ethereum and the recovery since back here during May through July. So markets are looking really good. What's our price estimate here for Ethereum, right? It's one thing to notice that we're in an uptrend. The major thing I want to emphasize is two widespread things. First off, the short-term target, and outside of that, the long-term target, what we could expect for the long run. Our long-term cycle top for this overall bull market is going to be $20,000. I really think that there's a serious potential for Ethereum to get up towards the 15-20K range. That's our general target range, 20K being the optimistic number we're going for. Whereas our short-term target here is going to be for somewhere around 7,500 to 10,000, right? Halfway through that valuation range, similar to Bitcoin going to 100K and then eventually maybe rising to 200K, right? Generally speaking, this is our more conservative price target that we're shooting for. Right, nice quarterly even range to those that big target of $10,000, right? Another $250 to go after that. I think that this is a important range to watch here going forward, and we've been calling for this back since September, and so far we're charting perfectly fine on that trend, and we may be in still maybe go a little bit higher towards 10K. I'm not here to tell you guys or be a guru and tell you exactly what the price is going to be, but overall I think that that's a very favorable range to expect for price to climb to without any serious interruptions, maybe a couple 1 or 2 day dips in between, or a week of stagnation and consolidation, right? But nothing too severe like we saw back in May. I think we're going to climb up to that range, and we've got the framework to continue moving higher. Now, why am I so confident in this, right? Well, let's think about it here, right? We've got the ETH BTC pair. We've talked about this for a long time. We've had this charted for some time, this idea of Ethereum against Bitcoin, right? Coiling in here into this wedge between a consistent midpoint range throughout Ethereum's history and the previous line of resistance serving as new support. This has been time tested here. We had the second retesting, and when everyone was really fearful that Ethereum would crack through, Ethereum held through, and we talked about this conviction about how this long-term line of resistance is now going to start playing as support and build the foundation for a secondary wave. Now, don't worry too much about how I have my lines drawn here. Generally speaking, we have the opportunity here for Ethereum to continue making a nice short-term return against Bitcoin, and eventually later on in the cycle make a really euphoric rally that I think is going to press towards the previous all-time highs back here in June of 2017 for ETH to own even more market share against Bitcoin. And that's the important thing you have to think about here. Even though this isn't a dominance measurement, if Ethereum is generally going to be at a higher price than Bitcoin, right, we have to assume that Ethereum is going to own more dominance of the market. And that's a big reason why we've been so convicted on the idea, or have such a strong conviction here, about altcoin dominance continuing to grow, not only in the short term, but also in the long term of the cycle, right? This is, again, another drawing we had here back when altcoin dominance was dipping. Everyone was, oh my God, the support line is going to be broken. When in reality, we've actually rebounded from 52.49% up towards 56.5%. And it looks like we're going to be continuing to set up a third relative high for this year and around January 2022. And that plays into Bitcoin growing in strength, and then also Ethereum growing in strength, right? So again, I want to keep my numbers as conservative as possible, but this really does start to paint the picture if Bitcoin is going to continue to climb up here into January and start to make some really nice price action, possibly going towards 90, 100K. This would really easily set the foundation for Ethereum to go all the way towards 10K. Right? So that's why, again, we're setting these price estimates, we're watching the ratios here, and we want to make sure we set things in a reasonable fashion here. Now, what could be the catalyst to actually push these cryptos up to where they need to go? Well, of course, there's all kinds of things going on. There's ETH 2.0, there's just general positive sentiment. When you clear through previous all-time highs, momentum follows suit. People realize it wasn't a bear market, it wasn't a bubble, time to continue getting more bullish, right? Well, there's a lot of really great fundamental developments going on. Thailand's oldest bank, in this case, acquired a majority stake or 51% stake in Bitcoin, which is the largest Thai exchange. It's about 90% dominance of volume in the country. And Thailand has overall been a pretty important spot for crypto. There's a lot of people, whether it be natives in Thailand or people who are, for example, expats who are living there, people who are working remote in Thailand. There's a lot of people in the crypto Thailand scene. And it's really interesting to see a major bank stepping in here and not only providing, hopefully, resources to scale out their operations and maybe even scale out their services to the existing banks bank's clients. But outside of that, to provide the framework so that they can work better in the regulatory framework and not run into as many issues. The exchange had some technical issues back a couple months ago. They got them in trouble with the Thai SEC. This is not to be confused with the US SEC, right? Each country has their own financial securities regulator. So because of this, they're going to be providing additional resources and hopefully scale out the operations of Bitcoin. Pretty good deal here. And for $536 million, putting it over $1 billion company in Thailand, which is no laughing matter. It's a really solid valuation for a crypto company in Thailand. Second off here, if we're not just talking about Asia, right? Well, this is still Asia technically. In Australia, we've got some really exciting news as well. Commonwealth Bank, one of the big four banks in Australia that dominate the market for banking, has now enabled crypto trading for 6.5 million Australian citizens. 6.5 million Aussies across the country can now buy crypto through the Commonwealth Bank, and this has been powered through a partnership with Gemini. So it's really exciting to see this, and I think the most important thing here is the quotation, the thing to think about here, that it is inevitable here that not only the Commonwealth Bank is offering, but the rest of the big four banks. The major players you got here in Australia, the National Australian Bank, Australian New Zealand Banking Group, and Westpac will soon be offering these services. I'm highly confident that we're going to start seeing this soon because it's a domino effect. When you start getting these major players doing it, it showcases that the regulatory concerns are out the window, and outside of that as well, if you don't do it, someone else will. That mentality starts to build. And again, it encourages more and more banks and partners to want to start offering these services. Now, outside this as well, if this wasn't an exciting adoption of crypto, we've also got the Miami mayor planning to accept a portion of his salary, his paycheck, in Bitcoin. This is a huge development here, guys. I mean, it's incredible to start seeing some financial institutions not only respecting crypto as a market, but now starting to receive a portion or all of their salary in the form of cryptocurrencies. That's actually what I want to share with you guys here today, right? Overall, one of the big things I've been working on behind the scenes is get paid in crypto. Right? This is a feature that we're launching in Digifox. It's one of the first of its kind in the sense that it not only allows you to get a portion of all of your salary in the form of Bitcoin, but you can also get paid in Ethereum and Litecoin, and you can also earn interest on your assets through our partner Celsius that's integrated directly into the app. We're really excited to be launching this feature in the coming future. In the meantime, though, you can do two things. You can not only join the waitlist by scanning the QR code here, which will take you to the App Store or Google Play Store, where you can download the app and join the waitlist. But outside of that as well, you can also join the beta testing application linked down below in the description. This is going to allow people the ability to receive a portion of all their pay in the form of crypto in the long run. So we want to make sure we do it right. We want to get a lot of you out there testing it early, providing candid feedback to us. So if you're interested in participating, check out the link down below in the description. There's no cost to join in this case. Just feel free to apply if you're interested, whether you're on iOS or Android. It's open to all. We're really excited to hear from you guys about any feedback you may have and if whether or not you want to participate. That being said, though, there's a lot of exciting things going on in crypto, guys. And if you need to keep on top of it, one of the great ways to do that is to check out the Dash Report. It's our newsletter that we drop every month. We just dropped a fresh edition covering topics like the metaverse, diving into the equity markets and focusing on why we have a big emphasis on small and mid-cap stocks. There's a lot of interesting things in the recent report that we just dropped. So if you guys want to support the channel and the contributions, go to supporting DataDash as a channel. It's a really important thing for us and helps us sustain the channel. So there's a link down below in the description if you want to sign up for that. And you can get a discount as well if you sign up on an annualized basis. That being said, that's going to be it for today's video, everyone. I know I've rambled on enough, and I've probably said that being said still too many times. Working on it and getting better at it. Hope you guys are having a fantastic day, and I'll see you all in the next one. Have a wonderful rest of your day, everyone.